Call a meeting to order, stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second that. Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for January 20th.
I'll second that.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meetings attended?
I attended a mental health and disability access point meeting. They're intertwined with health and human services and all this other stuff.
Is that the new committee from when the state took over?
Yeah. So it was a lot of that, a lot of talking about how it mergers went together, and these are some of the committees that I don't particularly enjoy attending. It's, in my opinion, it seemed like it was a bit disorganized and people really didn't know what their roles were, and this just as an outsider coming in. One of the gals that's retiring that does the books was kind of upset that towards the end of the year here, people are delaying bringing in submitting their claims and stuff, and even though she approved them, she didn't like it. And I spoke up and said, well, if they're late, deny them. I bet they'll only do it once. And everybody on Zoom kind of looked at me like, oh boy, we got one of these guys. Well, so it was a 2-hour meeting of governmental stuff. That's part of the stuff I hate about government. It just gets bogged down in stuff that doesn't need to be done. But anyway, made it through that meeting, and that's about all I had. About all I could stand for.
I had a 911 meeting. Basically, we approved the budget for next year and set the February 11th for the public hearing. Ended up approving the radio purchase for the new Wapello Fire Department. Oh, they did say that the new radio system was supposed to go online yesterday. Is that correct?
We've kind of been online essentially since last Wednesday or Thursday, but we're fully, as of yesterday, fully functional.
Yeah, so anyway, that project's completed, so. Yeah, that was the only real meeting I had. The guy from Farm Service reached out to me, and when they did that work, they couldn't find the regulator that went next to the cook room, basically, that big regulator. He said he finally tracked it down. It was gonna be like $1,000, but he in his mind, he thought it was oversized. So I reached out to Menace, and he was supposed to find out how many BTUs it actually was using, because he thought he could save us some money if we could get by with a small regulator. Now, I'm not sure how much, but anyway, Menace is supposed to be working on that for me to.
So is that one the one that's running the boilers?
Yeah, I believe so. Because there's just that one there, then there's a smaller one over by the jail. So.
We probably sometime need to discuss that whole operation over there too, because. And Susan, when we went out and did the safety audit that day, we went down to the boiler and I showed her what was going on. And that system is a pneumatic system, the controls on the walls. And there's so many leaks throughout that system that there's a small compressor down there that pressurizes that system. And that compressor runs 98% of the time. it runs until it'll pump up into shut off. And I don't know, what is that, 3 or 4 minutes maybe? Compressor comes right back on again.
I'm surprised it hasn't burned up.
I know, and it looks like a fairly new compressor, but you can't run them continuously.
No.
So we're gonna have to take a serious look at how we heat and cool that. I know we're putting some maybe splits in out there, but we're gonna have to overhaul this on that. So it's got new boilers or newer boilers, so
Yeah.
I think it's just a control system, but again, I don't know if that's complicated. So anyway, I didn't mean to hijack.
No, that's fine. That was basically it for last week.
Okay, the last P and Z meeting I was at, the state passed a bill that allows a homeowner to put an accessory building on their property to house like a small house. Can't be over 1,000 square foot.
Mhm.
But basically all they did was said, you have to allow this. So now zoning people have to figure out how they're gonna work the setbacks up in the country, how they're gonna work septic, and if they got a big enough septic to tie into, or they have to put in another septic, so it could create a few headaches for zoning people, whether it's city or rural, but the state said you're gonna do it, so we'll do it.
Well, I can see some of that with an elderly
Right.
parent, then you
Yeah.
could move them in next to you or something, but you gotta get real careful about not doing subdivisions too.
Right.
So, yeah,
Yeah, didn't Brian say that you can't sell it off later either?
No.
can't parcel it off,
Yeah.
can't
Now, if you build one and you sell the place, you sell everything.
everything, yeah.
But I'm saying, but the way it talked, you could do it in town too. If you had a big enough yard. to do
If the
it.
setbacks were right, and you had
Yeah.
enough space, I
Yeah.
suppose.
And they did make some progress on the wind ordinance, they were working on it.
I've had a lot of people grab me by the arm
Yeah.
about that here
Yeah.
this last week.
Getting calls and emails and
Yeah.
So. And then I had a community action meeting. Pretty much audit review took up most of the meeting. Early childhood development meeting. They have a bill in the Iowa legislature right now to have the state take that over. Kind of like they did with the mental health,
Yeah.
and they're not happy about it, but I don't know what we can do, right? Other than contact Congress people, and I'm so new at that, that was my very first meeting, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, what you do about it, or whether it would be a good thing, or whether it'd be a bad thing, I don't know, so. And then Southeast Iowa Regional Planning, there again, there was an audit review. New appointments were made, from Louisa County, and Herrick from Morning Sun is now our city under 5,000 representative for public representative. And then Cornwall on state and her. And thanks to Brett Schaefer, I've seen him yet to thank him. He nominated me to be on the executive board.
Lucky
so-
you.
Now I have a meeting every month. So
That's
every
awesome.
month.
Good for you.
So, anyway, that was my meetings. That was enough. So, okay.
I have a question for Kenny. I know there's some dead spots down with the radio communications, so kind of over down to Oakville Bottoms and stuff. Is this gonna help that out at all? Will it? Okay, good. Especially down Lake Odessa and stuff. I know there's some problems down there. That's all I had.
Was there anything on the windmills at the zoning meeting today, or they just keep pushing that back?
They were working on setbacks.
Well, there's some good ordinances out there that
They
are.
they were looking at several other counties and what they have.
Not Des Moines.
No.
I don't
No.
know. They've got some different.
And the
people.
setbacks need to be from the neighbor's property line, not from their door line.
Yeah.
So. But that's kind of where they're at right now, is figuring out where they're going with that, so. Any public input for the next agenda, the items they would like to see or discuss? No. Payroll changes, I don't think we have any.
I didn't see any.
Review the audit.
Yeah, I had listened on
Okay,
trying to. He basically was just going to, if you had any questions, answer them. He's on his phone, so. Brian, are you the?
Yes, I am here. I am working on getting on Zoom too. I think I just got Zoom, so I'll skip. I'll just move to the Zoom.
Okay,
Had some trouble logging on. Let me go that route. Just a second.
hang on, yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I made it.
Great. Gonna be a good day.
So he's basically here if you had any questions in regards to anything.
I didn't see anything that jumped out at me, but.
Well, the only one that jumped out was that the public safety exceeded their budget amount, so. I don't think we had any issues this year with, I didn't see anything in there about, amending it before it was spent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last year, or a couple of years prior, it was spending it and then getting an amendment,
Right.
that's a no-no. But I did not see that in here, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
we just need to make sure it stays
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. It didn't look to be too bad to me. There was segregation of duties, which is always a problem when we're this small, so that was
You
another.
only have 2, 3 in your
Yeah,
office. It's
Yeah,
almost-
there's not much you can do about that.
Yep, the findings were very similar to prior year.
Yeah.
You probably did kind of hit the big change would have been that the adding of the emergency medical services on page 50.
Yeah,
That was the new levy in those spending there. Otherwise, the audit went really smooth. Lucky for you guys, single audit did not apply this year. That was the big hang up this year is the feds didn't issue the compliance supplement till late, so it kind of pushed everything into a scramble mode. So we didn't have to deal with that issues for you guys because single audit applies when you spend over, well, now it's $1 million in federal awards, and you did not meet that threshold in 2025. So we the people that did kind of got pushed back. So we were able to issue in December, which is great, which is where we want to be.
yeah. Great. I don't have any other questions unless you guys do.
No,
We appreciate what you did.
Great. We appreciate all the help we get from the county and look forward to continuing the relationship.
Well, looks like we got another 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for making.
Have a
Great.
good day.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah.
I will say we may have something like unique happening in the treasurer's office. We've got a gal that's out on family leave. And another gal that's just about ready to go have a baby,
Mhm.
so maybe down to 2 people in there. For a short period of time. So. That may affect how often we can do driver's
I
license.
talked to Beth about it earlier this week, actually, I think it was yesterday, and I told her, I said, God forbid somebody gets sick, with it down to 2. if that happens, you just may have to close. Make
Yeah.
sure you put a note up on the door and close due to illness.
Um,
I talked to Susan and Beth both, and is there anybody you can pull from another office if for some reason you get a big influx of people and you
Yeah.
need somebody for an hour or two? And Susan says she could help. Might take her a few minutes to remember how to do some stuff,
It's been a
but
while.
I appreciate departments working with each other and trying to get past this little hiccup. So, yeah. Just do what you gotta do.
Okay. Adam, I guess you're up.
I guess first of all, let's do the Eastern Iowa Light Power.
Number 9.
Number 9, sorry.
just to approve the Eastern Iowa Light and Power application for the construction on Louisa County right of way to replace overhead line and install underground along O Avenue between 100 and 125th.
It's just an overhead and into a house, so,
Oh, into the house.
or property anyway, house maybe.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
There, I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. So we gotta sign this, Jen?
Got to spell
Uh,
it.
This motion by.
Yeah, motion by. Second one.
It's a little different than the other ones, ain't it?
Yeah. And then,
Fully chair.
here, and then I'll sign it, what, I sent it already. In terms of, maintenance wise, we've been trying to get some things done, we've had a couple days where it's been below zero, so I generally say, guys, don't break anything and that don't get hurt, so there's lots of shop things, happening now, but, when weather allows, we have been out cutting trees and,
On work on K Avenue.
yeah, so getting things like that done. I've had a couple conference call type things. Last week I met with the DOT online to kind of see where they were on their plans around town. We're trying to kind of come up with a preliminary design of the 5-mile lane out there in terms of what's going to happen with our 800 and some feet and what's going to happen with the city, right? So there's utilities out there and timing and all these kind of things. And my plan at the time, at the moment, is to try to repave that 5-mile lane when the overpass is being built, because then the road will be closed and there won't be as much traffic on it. So in order to coordinate that meeting, I called for a meeting with the DOT. I was unhappy to learn that part of their plan is to not build that 100th Street frontage road first. And they're including that in the plans of the bridge and the grading
All at the same time.
all at the same time. So that could mean closure for a year or something like that. I vehemently complained about that, and they're gonna look and see if maybe they can get the dirt work done in that 100th Street frontage road and rock it. And then at least we'll have a rock access, and there's 1,200 vehicles a day, lots of ag traffic, semis, school buses, Walmart trucks, concrete trucks, our trucks and all that, so. Well, I mean,
Ambulance.
you do have that, but you have 1,200 vehicles a day, so,
Yeah, that's just way too much vehicle to shove over on 70th
They'll
or.
go all the way around for funeral.
yeah. No.
Jesus.
Again, so we're working with them on that, and they have done a pretty good job of kind of responding to issues and all that, you know, and we're, you know, if there's something that we can do to help them, I'd be for that, so. So, we're working on that. I also had a conference call with my, county engineers group last Friday, and there's talk about legislator and laws and things like that, and, you know, a lot of these, property tax things, some of them have been 3 plans, and one of them is a little more problematic for us, and the other 2 are kind of iffy, so we're all kind of waiting to see what happens there, you know, so. Other than that, we have some classes and things like that this week, and a lot of training for our reporting of projects and things like that, so. Other than that, I don't know, anything else, any issues out there, anything going on in the world?
Must be in the 30s next week.
Yeah.
Like a heat wave.
Yeah. I did get a deal, so when we buy sand and salt, we have been typically buying sand from the quarry up at River Products. They, had a 24% price increase on us. That's, sand was gonna go to like $19 a ton, which is like more than road gravel is, and.
Sand's really hard to come by around here.
Yeah, I complained about it and said, oh, that was a mistake, and so I dropped it down to 16 or 17, and I said, well, that's still too high, so, I'm gonna try some other sources and see if we can get a good version of it that works, because if it's too powdery, then it gets clumped up in our thing, in our spinners, and it's stuck on the side of the box, and then that doesn't work. Or if it's too big, it'll get into the augers and plug it up, so we're trying to find the right deal here, but just a example of an expense that goes up all the time.
So is that out of Fredonia?
Our current is that, there's the old Acme plant, which is, you know, by Kempstone up in Fruitland now. We're gonna try that and see if we can find something that works, because it's about a third of the price, so. But, you know, even if it isn't perfect, maybe we'll have to go to that too, so. Yeah. If we buy, the 4,000 tons a year, kind of adds up quickly, so. So anyway, all right, that's all I have for now, so.
You.
All right, appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
Not a whole lot, just kind of the basic stuff, working on trainings to get all of that finished up, which is all online now. Do have the EMA and E911 budgets completed and submitted to the state on the website, so just waiting for the public hearings. Both public hearings will be on February 11th. EMA will be at 5 and E911 will be at 6 out at the complex. EMPG grant, still waiting for the $21,000 grant that we applied for last year and got, which everybody's waiting for that from the government. So now I can start working on next year's, which is kind of odd to be working on next year's if I hadn't received this year's. And then the hazardous mitigation plan. Last I talked to Zach at Southeast Iowa Regional Planning, they just finished up Des Moines counties. So they were gonna get it rolling on our plan. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on.
It's not a bad thing.
Yep. We'll have some things coming up in the future for some different
you have
trainings and stuff.
perhaps find money toward that replacing that generator?
So we need to get, I don't know if Sean was heading that, we need to get somebody out there to figure out what we need and get us
I'm working
prices.
on that. I had, well, the person I had consulting, Niall, has passed away,
Yeah.
so I have to back up and.
Yeah, once we get those numbers, then we can
So
start.
I talked to that kind of stuff about planning too, and he said that there could be money for that through them too, if we don't find it somewhere else.
Right. Right.
I'd like to get it and then oversize it just a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
future,
And there's quite a bit that it's gonna run out, it's gonna have to run.
half the complex, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the whole complex, other than the jail and
Well, yeah,
dispatch,
I guess
cause that generator that's there just runs that
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
so.
But I don't know what the power, other than some refrigerators and the
Yeah.
boilers, there's. The power requirement's probably not huge, but I don't know, our monthly
We're looking
bills.
at one that'll run off LP too, aren't we? So,
Yeah, I guess, or, I mean, the other ones are diesel.
Other ones do, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever you. Huh? Other ones are diesel.
okay. I just thought if it was on LP, it'd be,
Yeah, you can just plumb it right into the
Yeah.
main tank. I mean, I guess see where the prices fall.
Yeah.
or-
Like longevity, I think they're about the same, I don't think one lasts any longer than the other one. Diesels tend to last forever, it seems like, but. I don't know, the one we got now is 1969 vintage, so. 55 years, if we get another one that lasts 55 years, I think would be okay.
I think it would basically mirror what the fire department got for theirs,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit bigger, but.
Is there's diesel or LP or natural gas?
You remember, Bill, what the fire department's getting, is there's natural gas for their.
It's not LP because we don't have any tank.
Yeah.
After the natural gas.
Yeah, I'll get you some information. Keep going.
Maybe there's.
So where you at on the panic radios? Have you?
Applying, just starting applying for grants, I wanted to get all the budgets out of the way and sealed up and submitted, so there's some grants out there. I'm gonna apply for, and I'm gonna get a hold of Zach also to see if there's any other funding streams or something they can do for us as well, so means we have that solid number for those.
Did you change the one for the judges or add the one for the judges?
Add one for the judges, yep. And we wanted the handheld for them, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what they requested.
yep, okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Bill?
Here and look, even paying attention.
Bill. Oh. You need some water?
I'm still breathing.
Okay,
Not falling out of the chair yet.
okay.
Morning.
Morning.
Sorry for the packet, but, we'll talk about most of it at the end. Update on how we're doing. We went up another 10 grand, in monthly, compensation for our veterans. Budget, I don't like how my budget always comes out. It looks like I have more money than I do, or I have more money than is available to me, if you will, because of the soldiers relief. And we're on the glide path to turn over quite a bit of that back to you guys, or to her, back to the county. No major changes to the number of veterans and spouses in the care center. We do have one pending claim out for utilities assistance. I've got to get that voucher over to the auditor to get it processed. Training and travel. Next month, I'll be heading up on Saturday to the American Legion training in Des Moines. I do not plan to attend the IDVA spring school I do plan to attend the IACVS training and the NACDSO conference. And then every month we have some online training that I'm able to dial into there in the office. Trips, we had one completed. The issue now that we face, our veterans face in the county, is that we are we're Winchester. We don't have any drivers. One went to Florida as a snowbird, or Arizona maybe, and the other has recently had knee surgery. So we are left with calling the Veteran Transportation Services out of Iowa City, out of the hospital, and they'll come down. And as of yet, to date, we've not had any requests for that have been denied. So that's my outreach opportunities for the next month. I've attended the Coffee with Veterans here at Jamie Lynn's on the 8th. It went very well. Got a lot of support to do that. So that's going to be every the first Wednesday of each month over there. You guys would like to attend, you're more than welcome to come over, get a cup of coffee and a pastry. I also went down to the Marine Corps League in Burlington with the hope that I would run into at least one Louisa County veteran, and I ran into two that I hadn't met before. So you can see all those other ones. And then the last comment there is I'd like to have a kind of a combined event, outreach event with Washington County, Des Moines County, whatnot, Lee County, Muscatine. And my ideas are that we have to go where vets are. And for me, Burlington Bees game would be a great opportunity for that. I also think just the nature of veterans, we like guns, there's gun shows, and see if we couldn't get a table set up there with no cost. I would think that we would be able to. But that's something I'm pursuing. Moving into, did anyone watch the condition of the state address from Reynolds?
No, but I read the transcript.
Okay. Did you, you picked up the part about the veterans? Okay.
I did,
So this packet, moving on to that,
because I had questions to you about it, how that affected us.
it's going to affect all of us negatively, except for potentially 1/3 of the counties.
Because they had a ratio there of people to,
Yep.
yeah,
I track that every month.
yeah.
And so that ratio is actually based off an algorithm, so it's not exact science. It's pretty close, but it's not exact science. It also doesn't take into account any counties that have veterans that come in to their office from outside the county. But I'll hit those topics if I may.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be a little longer than normal. I apologize. But the first piece that you have is an email that Todd Jacobus sent us the day after Reynolds' address. And he addresses kind of the action points that the condition of the state hit on. She pointed out that we have 178,000 vets. We actually have 185,000 veterans in the state, with 1/3 of them receiving benefits. It sounds like we should be able to get those numbers up, and we could maybe get those numbers up some. But we have 534 veterans in the county with 183 receiving benefits. That's 34.3%. Nationwide, there's 162 million veterans with 16.2 million with 5.3 million to 5.6 million vets, and that equates to 32 to 35%. So our numbers are not underserviced. Our veterans are not underserviced. It's I think what she's trying to do, I don't have a problem with this, she's trying to get more federal dollars into Iowa resident pockets. Nothing wrong with that. But he mentions accountability, and that you guys in my commission don't have accountability on me. And the fact that I'm not giving you the appropriate numbers to be able to accurately direct me to do my job. I stand up here in front of you guys every month. I sit in front of my commission every month. Due to HIPAA, there's definitely some information I can't give you. But I brief you on the numbers, I brief you on the stats, I brief you on the claims. If a veteran is not, feels like they're not getting service by myself in the way that they should be, they can definitely go to you guys. They can make a complaint to the auditor that would get to you guys, that would get to my commission. And then every veteran I serve, they have to choose a POA, a power of attorney, American Legion, VFW, whatnot, to further represent them, which I'm accredited with. And they can always go to those organizations if they have a problem with what I'm doing. That email addresses that you guys don't have the tools to properly guide me and evaluate my performance. Their solution to that is to take money from us. The $3,000 that we just got annually for training, they want to take that back. They want to turn it into a training fund to where they take over all training, which is a whole nother topic, whole nother point that I'll make. They also want to provide software that we are already buying out of our budget that they give us. So, but what that does for them, that allows them to get, since they're going to give us a sub license, allows them to get into the back door and look at all the claims and the paperwork I'm doing, or according to them, not doing. And that creates an issue with HIPAA violation. I don't know the exact dollar figure, but if we have a HIPAA violation because they're looking somewhere that they shouldn't, I don't think the county could afford it. I'll get you the dollar figure on exactly how much that would be, but it's not something that we want to pay out. That's an issue because I'm accredited with 5 different organizations and they're accredited with IDVA. Which means if they're not accredited with everybody that I'm accredited with, and my veterans have chosen as a POA, if they access that information, it's a HIPAA violation. Their training, they're talking about the commissioners not having the tools. Every year there's commissioners training. And up until this last year, all of our commissioners have gone to it every year as well. And one of our commissioners used to do my job. So things have changed, but for the most part, he still understands what has to happen. And then consistency. They're claiming that 2 things. That VSOs aren't consistent from veteran to veteran, but also all VSOs across the state aren't consistently performing. That's probably a true statement, but the same could be said about anybody doing any job across any kind of enterprise. Where it's going to negatively affect us monetarily is this incentivized program, the excellence program, where they're going to break the 99 counties into thirds based on the amount of dollars each county, the average dollars that each veteran receives. That is apples to oranges. It doesn't work that way. Rural veterans receive more on average than urban veterans. And that's several factors that are involved there: age, access to medical care, and whatnot. How that's going to work out, their proposal is that the top third counties will get $15,000. Because they don't want to change the amount of money that they're paying out. Ultimately, right now we all get 10 grand, so $999,000. My numbers might be off, but you do understand what I'm saying. 1/3 of those counties will get 15 grand, so a $5,000 increase. The second third, the middle third, will get 5 grand with a $5,000 incentive if you bring your numbers up 5% over the last year. Bottom tier will get 2 grand with a $3,000 incentive if you bring your numbers up 5% from the previous year. That 5% for us would be about $20,000 over the year. Which I just said we had a $10,000 increase. We would probably be okay, because believe it or not, we are 33. We are the bottom guy in that top third. I don't take credit for that. Again, we're a rural county. That plays into what we get. They're not looking at the factors. So again, I hit the urban versus rural. They're not looking at why we're 44th. The state of Iowa is 44th out of benefits out of the 50 states. But we're also 39th out of states that don't have, with the number of military bases that we have. We have one active duty base, and it has very few soldiers on it, and it's in Burlington. We don't have another active duty base. There are anywhere between 22% and 38% of veterans that live near military active duty military bases, because when they retire, they get out, they get a job in that area, their kids are going to school in that area, whatever it is. They've already bought a home in that area, they're established in that area. We don't have that occurring, so that affects us. And then they want to enhance delivery. Well, they point out doing that through outreach, technology, and access to the info. The veterans have access to information. You see, these are the outreach events that I'm invited to. I don't go to everyone every month because it's another hour and a half that I have to add on. My plan that I've been doing, and that I follow in suit from Adam, is that one a month, rotating, and so therefore I hit each of them 3 times a year. We have the coffee going on. I go to the rodeo. I haven't gone to the fair yet, but that's on the table. Technology. One of the complaints that the state has had is that there's VSOs that are, believe it or not, still using typewriters and paper up until a few months ago, maybe a year ago. The state put into law that, and this is the thing, all this is in Iowa code. We have to do this. We have to have a PIV card. I have to be able to reach into the VBMS system and see the process that these claims are going through. So we're doing the outreach. We have the technology. And as far as the access to the information, every day I make 3 or 4 posts to Facebook, the Louisa County Veteran Affairs page. I take that information, I put it into emails that I have a database of all the veterans. I email that out. There's no more technology. I could skywrite with an airplane, you know. That's about it, you know.
Pull a banner or kind
Yeah, exactly, you know. Stand on the corner with the
flipper board.
yeah, the sandwich board. I've thought about it actually, but
I might pay for that.
just to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you'd pay for the board anyway. The next piece is pros and cons, and this is I just reached out to ChatGPT and said, hey, what are the pros and cons of this incentivized program? And so it scrubbed the internet and it came up with this. And I went through this and I absolutely agree with every point of it. The biggest thing, it's going to punish 2/3 of the states monetarily. As far as emphasis on professional development, it's actually going to reduce available training because the commandant is going to dictate the training that we have to attend. And he's already doing that to an extent. Nationally, for my accreditation, I have to do 16 hours. He thinks adding 4 extra hours is going to provide better service to the veterans. Again, it's already in the code, and this reduces funds available to the county. They're going to pull the $3 grand from us. They're going to pull, and this is not just, I've been, I'll admit that I've been harping on the full-time issue. If I'm not able to compete, basically, because this does turn into a competition for resources, I'm at 20 hours. Most of our similar counties are at full time. They're gonna pull ahead. They're going to be able to work more hours. They're gonna be able to focus more, and they're gonna be able to catch up. So we're gonna lose 10 grand. Increased accountability. I've already gone over most of these topics. They're there for you guys to reference back to. And then the piece that's bulletized CVSO comments, I went through, and we have our own forum on our association page. And of course, most of us are on Facebook. And so I scrubbed comments that my peers have and other veterans have about this. So this is, first of all, the association this was done in a vacuum. They did not address our association of 147 CVSOs across the county. When I'm big on true definition of a word, right? So propaganda is often used as a bad word. It's not. But the true definition of propaganda is right or wrong information, but getting your message out there, beating it on the street, making sure people see it. That's propaganda. And it can be good or it can be bad. But in this case, they're saying veterans support this. Veterans organizations like American Legion, VFW, BVA support this. And there are elements there are some veterans that do support this. But they make it sound like every veteran supports this. And that's not the case at all. Of the 99 counties, I would say probably a good 80 to 90% of us are opposed to this. Even if you're going to win out and get more money, it's hurting other counties. So, and it's ultimately going to hurt veterans. So we're not in favor of it. I'll let you guys go over all these different comments. Again, they're bulletized. If you have any questions on it, I'm more than happy to provide information now or later. And finally, the last page you have is actually a cutout of what's called the GDX report. And that GDX is what they're basing their numbers off of. And so you can see there highlighted yellow on the first page that our averages is that each veteran, because we have some veterans that never file a claim. We have some veterans that are at 100%. And the average dollar per month or per year is $6,497.26. And that's just monetary direct compensation. Did I hit on all your questions? I know that's a lot to digest. First thing, and what they haven't addressed that is what they're not really pushing on their propaganda is they are behind moving all VSO offices to full time. I think that is the first step that they need to accomplish to get everybody on the same playing field. But sorry for taking so long.
Good info.
Right.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
Yep.
Okay. Next item is discussion, possible action to approve resolution 20611, transferring funds from loss to general supplemental. Whereas it is desired to transfer monies from local option sales tax to general fund, supplemental fund for the purpose of purchasing election equipment for the Louisa County. Now therefore,
I think it was 55,000.
Yeah.
now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors of Louisa County, I would transfer $55,000 from lost to the general supplemental fund. The auditor is directed to correct her books accordingly and to notify the treasurer of this authorizing transfer accompanying the action with a copy of this resolution and record its adoption.
I think Susan and I talked about this. That was better option than leasing. You just get it done and move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of issues with the stuff they had.
Yeah, so it's just rollers are kind of starting to get older and they can't replace the rollers anymore, so,
But we want a fair election,
yeah.
no hanging
Yep.
chance.
We're actually one of the last, 3 counties in the state that have this over, so. The last I heard, so.
Well, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Everybody will sign. Oh.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. I'll second.
We are done.